the text that Abhisamaya Alamkara, Buddha Maitreya have 5 major texts that composed by Buddha Maitreya, but it brought to in this planet, this world, by Asanga. Asanga, usually, generally known as who is in a third bhumi, Sasumnyeva Pavatome, in the third bhumi. But of course, in reality, Asanga and Nagarjuna is both, of course, is enlightened being. So anyway, within the 5 Maitreya's texts, Abhisamaya Alamkara, which is also considered as a Madhyamika text, and Uttara Tantra, this text was also considered as a Madhyamikan text. Then the Utanamche and I don't know how to exactly to translate Utanamche and Chuinamche. These are considered as a Yogacharan and texts, and Dodegan also is generally considered as a Yogacharan text, considered in a Yogacharan. Now, of course, most of the in the Mayana teaching, particularly in the Tibetan commentaries and all those texts, when they're trying to explain the philosophical explanations of the grounds and the paths and the method side of all the explanations are really rooted to Abhisamaya Alamkara and Sutra Alamkara and Uttara Tantra. These 3 texts are one of the source to commentary in the method sides, explanations such as grounds and paths and the bodhicitta and so on and so forth. And the wisdom side of explanations, within the Maitreya's 5 texts, Utanamche and Chuinamche, these two texts is one of the main texts of the explanation of the wisdom part. And of course, in general speaking, it's more interpreted as a Yogacharan view. The reason, again, yoga as interpreted as a Yogacharan view is because Asanga, who is the main person, main yogi, Mahasiddhi, who brought this whole Maitreya's 5 texts to in this planet, he is considered as taking a responsibility to re-establishing the Yogacharan system. So I think it's from that point of view, it is interpreted as a more towards the Yogacharan view. In general speaking, of course, it can interpreted as a Madhyamika. I think so. But right now, so far, what's happening is more interpreted as a Yogacharan view. Yogacharan view system. Okay. So now, so far what we are studying within the 5 Maitreya texts in Abhisamaya Alamkara. Now, but that text, in the monastery when we study, it is interpreted as a Madhyamikan view, but within the Madhyamika, there's 2 different types of school, which is a Madhyamika Swatantika and Madhyamika Prasankika. Usually, Abhisamaya Alamkara is interpreted as a system, as a Madhyamika Swatantika, more in that direction. Now, how we can define Abhisamaya Alamkara as interpreted as a Madhyamika Svatantika's way is only we can analyze from the wisdom point of view, not from the method point of view. Madhyamika Svatantika and Madhyamika Prasankika in both systems, from the method side, is not that much different. Pretty much in the same interpretation, Mayana path and grounds gives pretty much same explanations. But from the wisdom point of view, particularly like when they're trying to give an explanation of emptiness, shunyata, particularly within the emptiness, emptiness of a phenomena, selflessness of a phenomena. When it's come that level, Madhyamika, I say, Suvatantika and Madhyamika Prasankika, it goes different direction. So basically, Abhisamaya Alamkara went through the explanation which is given by Madhyamika Suvatantika, the emptiness, explanation of the emptiness. The wisdom explanations went through a direction, a direction by the Madhyamika Suvatantika. Of course, now we can ask how we know that. How we know Abhisamaya Alamkara went that direction, the wisdom, explanation of a wisdom, it is that direction. The simple things, what I trying to understand is from the Madhyamika Prasankika point of view, the principal meditation of a Hinayana, from the wisdom side, principal meditation of a wisdom of a Hinayana, and principal meditation from the wisdom side, Mahayana, from Madhyamika point of view, is the same. The wisdom meditation. In the Madhyamika point of view, Arya, Pakpa, Arya, Hinayana Arya, have to have a direct realization in emptiness to become Arya, to get in a Hinayana path of seeing. The practitioners have to have a direct realization in emptiness. Without that, this path of seeing, there's nothing special to see. So, any of a path of seeing from the Madhyamika Prasankika point of view have to see the emptiness directly, without conceptual. Now, when it comes to Madhyamika Sovatantrika, path of seeing have a different level of seeing. In a path of seeing according to hearers, just seeing selflessness of a person, which is independent, inherently, these three things. This, hard to me to pronounce. Can you say? Self-sufficient, substantially existing. So empty of that, huh? Existing is the object of negation, and empty of that. Basically, from the Madhyamika Prasankika point of view, when they look for that view, it is very worthwhile to overcome your own delusion. But it doesn't cover that conventional reality that you experience. You are not able to overcome from those experience, not able to overcome the delusions, the problem which is related with the outside conventional reality. So somehow that selflessness of a person is not able to cover entire. Basically, that means not able to cover entire. That means you're not able to overcome the problem which is related with the outside world by meditating that kind of selflessness, which is according to Madhyamika Sovatantika. So anyway, there's according to Madhyamika Sovatantika have a specific principal meditation of hearers, have a selflessness of a person, and let me go with the path of seeing. In a path of seeing in hearers, you see the selflessness of a person. Path of seeing in solitary, you're going to see non-duality, seeing directly. And in my Bodhisattva's path of seeing is the selflessness of a phenomena, the emptiness. So basically, Abhisamaya Alamkara, trying to make these three different distinguishing. Again, how we know that Abhisamaya Alamkara trying to make those kind of distinguishing. Basically, as we talk in a second chapter, nor the path of the hearer, and nor the path of the solitary, nor the path of the Bodhisattva or Mahayana. When we went all these three. So basically, these three explanations trying to show that Abhisamaya Anunkara, makes these three different kind of principle meditation of each, here and solitary and Bodhisattvayana. So I think it's important for us, when we look for Heart Sutra, which is one of the very important texts in the Mahayana Buddhism, but most of the answer was given by Avalokiteshvara, which is method lineage. It should have the responsibility for Manjushri. And most of the question asked by Shariputra, generally considered as there's no Bodhisattva Shariputra, we won't say at all. You generally consider Shariputra as a Hinayana practitioner. We are Mahayana practitioner, Shariputra. It's really embarrassing to say that. So anyway, the Heart Sutra, why Manjushri don't take the responsibility to give all the answer for the Shariputra? All the Avalokiteshvara is so kind and so Manjushri is more like person, I say, not patient enough. Anyway, I think it's this is my own interpretation. That much shows something that in the Mahayana, the direct realization in emptiness is not enough. Have to have a support by compassion or the method. Why the Chenrezig Avalokiteshvaras trying to take that spot? Usually Avalokiteshvara is a lineage in the method lineage, not the wisdom. It must be that some reason. So I usually try to look from that angle. The wisdom understanding in a Mahayana have to be supported by method, particularly in bodhicitta and compassion. So therefore, the responsibility answer was taken by Chenrezig, which is usually method lineage. Now, Shariputra, I think from Madhyamika point of view, as I mentioned earlier, whole practitioner in the path, particularly in the path of seeing, all the practitioners have to have a realization in emptiness. In a path of seeing, that means seeing the ultimate reality. No different Mahayana or Hinayana, doesn't matter. If practitioner wish to liberate yourself, have to see ultimate reality. Emptiness is the principle. There's no distinguishing, Hinayana have a principle of meditation in the wisdom side, one different than Mahayana. There's nothing different. So I think Shariputra symbolized that whole the path have to, if you were wishing to liberate yourself or another, doesn't matter, have to have realization in emptiness. So anyway. Okay. Basically now, first chapter main subject is the omniscient, in which have we talk already about 10 different type of aspect, and know the path, which is the second chapter of Abhisamaya Anunkara. It have 11 different type of topic we talk a little bit of. Then third chapter is the base, know the base, shishe. Is have 9 different type of topic. We went roughly a little bit on that. These are the 3 know, and right now we're in the 4th chapter, Namsok Jova, complete training in aspect. Now, just to give Namso Jova, the one more time, Namso Jova, complete training in aspect. Basically, as the last time we spoke, there's a way of doing meditation in an aspect of 3 knows, aspect of a 3 know, and particularly in this, complete training in Namzojo. Can we go back one more time? Sorry. That it's okay. I just want to just okay, yeah. Complete training in aspect. Aspect, aspect of what? Aspect of a three no's. Aspect of three no's. Yeah, complete training in aspect of three no's. And aspect of three no, last time we spoke in Abhisamaya Alamkara, they trying to categorize 100 and how 173, 173. So you shouldn't forget that number. Divided with the three. Here solitary and bodhisattva. We went all three this. So training in that. Now, which kind of training? The mind, which kind of mind? Over here, particularly in trying to training, it have already calm abiding. It have a calm abiding training in an aspect of a three no's, but it don't have the special insight. Gomjunginyo, special insight, training of special insight in a aspect of a three no's. So in the first chapter, particularly trying to give an explanation what are the aspects are and what is the training. Particularly to summarize, particular training is gomjunginyo, gomba means training, able to train through the special insight. Special insight. Basically, what is doing is, let me make simple. After cultivating bodhicitta mind, spontaneous bodhicitta mind, your individual practitioner reach in the path of accumulation. Path of accumulation, you're trying to accumulate it, the merit, the support, to able to really supporting that wisdom to sharp. At the path of accumulation, the practitioner have a wisdom which have a strong, supported by calm abiding, but not a special insight. In the path of accumulation, practitioners trying to gain that wisdom, transform in a special insight. Once they transform in a special insight, individual practitioner obtained, individual practitioner obtained in a pickup training. Basically, complete training and aspect, that kind of training transform, that kind of, Bodhisattva's consciousness is transformed in a peak training. That means basically a skill of a meditation able to done through a special insight. So roughly on that. So we finished last time until number 8, roughly. So today we are supposed to get in a number 8. Number 8, 9. Okay. The Bodhisattva Sangha, who was attended the sign of an irreversible, and now, just to give like brief, with those number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11. due to how you say, of course, method support and also the wisdom which is transformed in a special insight. The Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattva Sangha, Bodhisattva, irreversible, I say, irreversible, okay, obtaining the sign. Of course, you can just think carefully, like, once a Bodhisattva in the path of accumulation, when they obtain the medium one, medium is the golden like a bodhicitta, isn't it? The first one is in path of accumulation. The first is like a bhumi, and bodhicitta like a bhumi. In the medium, path of accumulation, the medium, the bodhicitta like a golden. That means gold, that we're going to stay forever. No matter how many different can put it, it stays as pure as a. That means once the bodhisattvas, they achieve the medium, which is a bodhicitta like a golden. Never give up like a gold, forever gold. In bodhicitta like a bhumi, at that time there's a possibility. It's kind of like a bodhisattva like a baby. Is at this time is this possibility that can may possibility give up. It's just so difficult. So I might interest to liberate myself. That is the ideal. So now this. But once they obtain bodhicitta like a golden, they will never ever going to give up their path. But they haven't obtained the sign. And the sign in this time is a sign of irreversible. Irreversible from where? From the enlightenment. Purpose, sake of benefiting for another. Never ever going to irreversible from the enlightenment. But at the path of accumulation, Bodhisattva never having gained the sign, internal sign, external sign, all those things. But the question comes, irreversible or not, at the path of accumulation, particularly in the great and the medium. No, not irreversible. They will stay forever. But the sign over here in terms of what? Sign, internal sign is like a wisdom. The wisdom is not fully gained in the nature of a special insight in the path of accumulation. Although the method side is quite strong, but the wisdom side, it is not. Tapshegi topa tempo. Tapshegi topa tempo means kind of very stable. Tapshegi topa, realization of a method and the wisdom are unstable at the path of accumulation, because that realization haven't transformed in the nature of a special insight. That's the only. Now, usually that sign starts from the path of preparation. So, however, practitioners once they get that kind of like internal sign, able to transform in a special insight, then next training comes to really that extend that wisdom, including samsara and nirvana, trying to see as a empty of inherently existing, empty of truly existing, equally. Basically, it's trying to tell that wisdom to transform, need to transform in a direct perception. Even the number 9 is telling not only it have to transform in a direct perception, but it have to transform that freeing from experiencing, innate level of a grasping and truly existing. Although they haven't eliminated, but it have to be in that level. So number 9 basically trying to tell. You'd have to move that kind of level. Then number 10 is trying to tell when individual person enlightened, your own accumulation of a wisdom merit and virtue merits resolve of environment. Resolve of environment. It have to be when. And resolve environment and karmically connected to sentient being. These are like a whole. One thing is the interesting things. There's a very necessary we as an individual person to become enlightened because we have a karmically related sentient being with our own karma, and that makes we as it becomes strongly responsibility. There's a strong effect that we can make a difference for that karmically connected with there's some individual sentient being, they are karmically connected with us, but not that much strongly karmically connected with the Buddha Shakyamuni. Although Buddha Shakyamuni is Siddhartha, King Siddhartha enlightened, but there's leftover we here. So individual person, as an individual person, we as a karmically connected, we have some personally karmically connected. So we as an individual enlightened, purpose of benefiting for those people, there's a very, special, has a very strong effect that we can make, and those karmically connected sentient beings. So anyway, so number 10 is basically, trying to making more stronger that your wish to come, particularly the method side of your wish to able to help sentient being. So trying to in creating the environment, pure environment. Then number 11 is once individual person enlightened, it is job haven't finished. Come back, skill, improve the skillful means and able to help for another sentient being. So basically it's just turning back. So we feel like individual liberation, you go, there's a final destination, that's it. For Mayana, you make an effort, then suddenly you reverse back to able to help in a skillful way. Understandings, the needs, through this, guiding the sentient being through the very skillful way. And skillful is, I think it's very, very important. We have to become very skillful. We have to be, good motivation, intelligent, but there's when we lose the skill, then we move disaster, into disaster. So skillful. Skillful in terms over here doesn't mean tricky. It just means like a pure motivation. Skillful in terms, inherently skillful doesn't exist. Wisdom combined, basically, it's interesting. When His Holiness, when he do empowerment, and there's his attendants who works with, when he does his preparation, I just noticed, basically, he don't say word too much. The ritual, he don't say the ritual too much. Basically, just kind of like meditate, going through meditation. And of course, in the process of ritual, there's things to bring and take it back. And those attendants are very I like to wonder how they know that times to give this and time to take that back, and so very skillful. So anyway, so basically, in a kind of a rough, why this have to go through like that? Okay, now. Chirmidobe Changsimgi Gindin Bodhisattva Sangha. Now, concept of Sangha, usually, to have a Sangha, in general speaking, from the Vinaya point of view, 4 fully ordained Sangha, then, ordained person, then it becomes a Sangha. Now, in a minor point of view, Sangha in terms the meditation in emptiness, we have one single person which have a direct realization in emptiness becomes Tentambe Sangha. I don't know how to say ultimate Sangha, or that is not exactly. So now in this term, what they use the Bodhisattva Sangha is not kind of like, still is a single path of a preparation who have a realization in emptiness by special insight. This is considered as a Bodhisattva Sangha. Now, of course, the definition. Let me try to translate roughly. You must have in your handbook. Must be long, but manifesting, grasping in truly existence, for form, etc. Manifesting, grasping, dogmas means eliminate or reversed. That kind of so ta shishibu. There's like a 44 sign. 44 sign. Ta shishibu karuto means obtaining one of the 44 sign. That is I said one of the 44 sign, which is the eliminate or manifesting, reversing or manifesting, grasping in truly existing in a form and etc. So that is kind of like roughly definition and division. Bodhisattva on the path and preparation, and exactly then Bodhisattva path in a seeing, and Bodhisattva path in a meditation. So basically, what happens? These three is like if the students are working hard, like if you have like to write your paper or you have to do your PhD and also and so forth. If you are like a diligent and strong enough, you might able to finish all your paper to give back within the 2 years. If you're a little bit lazy, maybe you can able to return your paper like after 5 years. So it can be, postponed. So over here, why choosing these three? All the Bodhisattva, once they reach a path of preparation, they have a realization in emptiness by special insight, but the sign of that, stabilizing of a sign, internal sign and external sign, may they not obtain in the path of a preparation. Maybe they might able to obtain that sign in the path of a seeing. Maybe they might obtain that sign in path of a meditation. So basically, Bodhisattva, sharp ones, in roughly, like what they describe those things, Ongo Bodhisattva, more sharp wisdom, they will going to obtain the sign in the path of a preparation. The medium, Ongbuding, the medium one, going to obtain the sign in the path of a seeing. Then the Ongbotama, relatively, all this I'm speaking in a relatively, the lesser wisdom, we're going to obtain the irreversible sign in path of a meditation. Is kind of a little bit delayed. So from that point of view, is divided in three.
What kind of sign?
That's the secret. Sign. I think what kind of sign?
Burning bush.
Sign. Sign. There's 44 signs. In a summary way, there's no matter how much there's the number over there, but in a general speaking, 탑식이 또바 템도 창베 제토 룽하기 딱 해버진. That means like simple. If you go like instead of I'm saying, let's go like His Holiness. Simple, when he's trying to talk about the Bodhicitta, there's a special sign that comes from his physical. You can see so clear. Even like when he talks about in the emptiness. It is not kind of like a once upon a time. Sometime, for us due to luck, can some kind of like movement, but there's this kind of like pattern. How is it? The continuity of a sign of which kind of realization carry internally. It shows externally. Now the question comes for us: are we in the text and so forth might get more explanations, but are we ready to able to see those signs? For that to reach for that level from our side, have to be in a certain level of understanding. But in general speaking, like His Holiness, there's a sign of that carries that sign. He carries that how much the compassion and the bodhicitta, experience of a compassion and bodhicitta. Not only that, how it is stable. How is that stable? And some of the teachers, there's so much strong emphasis from the verbally when they teach, whatever they teach, whatever they speak, conclusion comes in ultimate reality. That's it. Without ultimate reality, understanding emptiness, they really, no matter how much you go here and there, basically they're trying to take you. That's it. That's the understanding in the emptiness. Introducing. When they introduce for us, realizing emptiness is the ultimate door to liberate. That is the one thing that we can see. Now, I think one thing is important to us to understand. When we say sign, it's not like so easy sign that we can understand, like, oh, there's a smoke, they should have a fire. And not that kind of simple level of a sign. Sign over here means like, from our side, also have to have a several level of, marriage support, and so on and so forth, and hold together, whatever, give an explanation. In most of the texts, it's so simple word. Basically, in the meditation, strength of the meditation, and stabilizing the wisdom and the method, produced from that kind of realization, obsession, what they talk, what they act. And many times, also in a text, they say all these are also more. This kind of explanation of a sign and so on and so forth is most times we have to apply for the practitioner their own self. This is not sign to show up, but basically individual practitioners to able to also see where their process are, where their stages are. How their session is working, how there's, this is kind of, normal in the Lamrim teaching at the beginning, how we know our session is good. We have a good session, how we know. We pretty much know in our obsession, if our obsession is really unstable, that means our session didn't went really well. It's quite clear. The sign of a session went really well and affected in our mind is basically it have to show like a scientist, show me where is it. It's like obsession. In obsession, your mind is so much affected by the wisdom and the compassion. That is the sign of your session went very, very well. Once you come out of the session, if your mind is still strong falling and grasping and not letting go, that means session doesn't went well. It's kind of that. Basically, this sign, irresistible sign. The ultimate purpose is individual practitioner their own self to kind of dictating of their own process of a meditation, particularly because they are the critical time. They gain this realization in emptiness by special insight. It is if they're able to transform in a direct perception, it becomes like fully ripe and able to cut all the problems, rooted problems. If they just stay on that level, it's just like either you don't have that realization and you can enjoy another side of the ignorance, or I think the sign by the explanation is the critical time. Gaining this realization in a special insight. Now it's like they have to really make a strong effort to able to transform in a direct position that really cuts the root of the problem. So basically, usually it's more for, I think, for internal practitioners to really to detect their session, obsession, session, and obsession, and how their internal realization and emptiness and method practice are stable. Stable in terms, not what we can talk of as stable. From that, they are really farther is very stable. But stable in terms from the it is relatively to talk. Basically, the point over here is the point over here is if individual bodhisattva able to see or able to detect that internal and external sign in the path of a preparation, they are more faster. Relatively speaking, they are more faster to obtain the enlightenment. If you only gain able to experience those signs in the path of a seeing, relatively it's taken longer. And particularly this experience to detect those signs in the path of meditation only. The process of getting enlightened, I think, is longer. So I think there's basically the process, to become more pure, more stronger, and more, I say, quality of the meditation to become more stronger. Not like long period of meditation in an emptiness with the conceptual level. Rather than having that, then the quality of the meditation that able to transform sooner in a direct perception level. For that reason, I think that this kind of process of detecting internal sign, external sign. Okay. Now here is a number comes here. This I think the number 40. Those all are like expressed in the sutras, and to make a summarize in a path of a preparation, there's a 20 different types of sign, and path of seeing there's a 16. In path of meditation, there's a 8. Now, in general speaking, carrot cake. If somebody brings a carrot cake in front, if there's 3 people, if 3 people have a good lunch, and in a dessert in carrot cake, if they bring Weber craving, level of a craving, and the sign of a craving, it can be like slight different. Now we can go back, like in a critical situation, in something that the situation that, okay, let's make 3 people have to make some decision, have involvement, and each person, how much they're emotionally involving. In the conventional world we use this word emotionally. I'm so emotional with this situation. Basically, from the means your grasping is so much involving in that situation, so that your way of discussing on the issue, and all this kind of external sign has become so rough. The same issue, they say, okay, we stop. Let's have this meeting tomorrow, and once all the heaven realizes in the emptiness, but the grasping and truly existence, when this is the lower, there's this kind of agitated verbal explanation and physical explanations doesn't as a expression doesn't get there. So for now, of course, in a Bodhisattva, in a path of preparation, like let me make an example. If you show general like some things, of course there's a which is neutral phenomena. Of course, there's nothing, experience of a grasping truly existing. Nothing kind of feeling of a now for the let's show like enlightened beings form of enlightened being, which is a strong object of faith for those bodhisattvas. Strong faith of objects. So there's from the emotion, the faith angle, there's such a strong going on that object. In a positive is that still is a positive, but sometimes because of it is concentrated so strong and emotionally involving very strong, for sentient being, sometimes that brings a different level of a grasping on it, grasping on that form. Not as a grosser as what we carry as an ordinary being who don't have a realization in emptiness, but naturally, once it's emotionally involved, positive emotion or negative emotion, doesn't matter. It still is a right karma, it's positive karma. But still, for the Bodhisattva who have obtained the sign of irreversible, for them, from the method point of view and from the wisdom point of view, both way, that object of faith able to handle with it purely. Now, in another way, what also we can think is the innate level of a feeling of in grasping and truly existing in Bodhisattva in a path of a preparation, they haven't eliminated, grasping the innate level. So, the more the lower, let's say, smaller of a feeling of an innate level of a grasping truly existing, I think that can be also one of the sign of they are irreversible from the enlightenment, there's no doubt, but the sign of irreversible is like this kind of non-grasping, non-feeling and grasping truly is an innate level. And from the method side, of course, related with the faith, it can be different. Related with the compassion, you have a different sign from the physical level. And that sign, continuity of a sign will be, on and on, not only once time or twice time. So anyway, there's a 20 in the path of preparation, and 16 and 8. So now, 20, just I'm trying to give the numbers, how they're going to get, the later one. In the 20, how we're going to divide it in the path of preparation, there's like 4, in the path of preparation, there's like a heat, peak, tolerance, and supreme. Supreme. So, Ter is like a heat. Once the meditation in emptiness is transformed in a special insight, it's just like a thermal fire heat. Now you can warm up all the channels. So anyway, why they call the heat is because at that time, meditation in emptiness is transformed in a special insight. At that time, is now meditation in emptiness, once it's able to transform in a special insight, is like a within the three wisdom over here, wisdom of contemplation, and wisdom of meditation. So it is transformed in the wisdom of a meditation, gomjungi shera. So it's kind of like a peak wisdom. Then soba, the tolerance. Soba. At that time, the in the one angle, there's a two different angle way of explanation. One is the individual practitioners, when they realize the emptiness, by special insight, they are overcome from the fear of experience of emptiness, tolerance. And from that angle, one thing. And one another way is, once the bodhisattva obtained in a path of preparation in the third level, in tolerance or patience, they are never ever going to rebirth by karma in lower rank. In a bodhisattva in a heat and bodhisattva in a peak, for them, the karmic, still the karma, negative karma can influence. Negative karmic rebirth can take it in lower rebirth. Well, once the bodhisattva reach in a path of preparation in the third one, tolerance or soba, patience, no more never rebirths by karma in a lower rebirth. By the prayer and the compassion, yes, they can take a rebirth, but by the karma, there's no way. Then supreme. That now meditation in emptiness, in a special insight, which is a conceptual level. This is the best part of the conceptual level, is in the most finest, the most subtle conceptual level in the fourth of the path of preparation. So supreme in terms, not from the direct realizing the emptiness, it's not like that. In the conceptual level, that is the subtlest one, the most subtle. Since the beginning of the understanding of emptiness is through the conceptual level, it improved and it improved and it improved in the path of preparation in the fourth. That is the most subtle, truly chok, the most superior from the conceptual point of view. Then, of course, right after that, this is the one angle. From the one angle, that meditation in emptiness in the fourth level becomes immediate cause for direct realization in emptiness. From that point of view, what kind of result it we're going to bring from that point of view also is considered as superior. Basically, the ultimate conceptual. In one way, we can say it's the ultimate conceptual. After that is transformed in a direct perception level. What's that?
Fine.
It's doing yoga. The external sign. So, so the first one, the definition of irreversible. There's a two angle from the samba, from the thought, and joa as an action. The one thing is never. There's not even slight of thoughts, the wishing to liberate your own self, because it is critical time, it's temptation time, because you have this wisdom realizing emptiness in a level of special insight. So why we don't do this way, why it's possible. So basically, in the practitioners, once they're in a path of preparation, once the one internal sign, irreversible sign, is like never ever, even one moment, of wishing to liberate yourself. Since they have all those cause and condition, that get able to, forgetting, like bodhicitta and those things, just concentrate and process your own delusion and become, enjoy the peaceful nirvana. Is possible, but never ever in one inside of experiencing the wishing to liberate your own self. This is the one. Through the action, thought. This is the third thought. Through the action, that meditation in emptiness and the meditation in the bodhicitta is like if the practitioner feels very stable, unshakable, very stable. Any session where they did was very stable, which they can feel in the off session. The vibration of a wisdom and the method can able to remain so longer in the off session. So joa as in the action as a meditation in a session and off session. So this is once individual practitioner feel those two things. This is one of the sign of irreversible irreversible. Now, the second one, logic of, then question comes, as you asked before, was, like how we know. We all want to know. Then we can find that and follow him and really work hard. So there's, from the debating point of view, okay, if you say this is a sign, like how we're going to apply, like there's a smoke, there should be a fire. There's this kind of experience, so therefore it should have obtained such a stage, this type of stage. So like, let me make a, you do daily basis, your own practice, your own commitment, whatever you have, you do daily basis. Sometimes when people does daily basis, their own practice is, they are already overcome from none able to do. They're doing. Now the question comes, how the practice is stable. Particularly like if you're doing some sadhanas, how's the meditation in 3 kayas, how stable, how your confidence, all those kind of things, how your confidence in your meditation in Guru Yoga, how's that strength, there's all this kind of like improvement in your, each improvement of it in each meditation. You might have a very undistracted, clear meditation in Guru Yoga, but if there's nothing kind of like emotionally touched very strongly, you're unable to go really deep. That Guru Yoga meditation. Once you're able to go to very deep meditation in the Guru Yoga, there will be some sign externally also. But like you can be, like an example, in our conventional world, when we see our Guru in the assembly, and once you see your Guru in the person to person, this is such a different, because each experience you're taking, when you see the person to person, you take that experience really deep. Likewise, for the meditation in emptiness, I think there is also a level of like that you can take very in a gentle level, and you can take that meditation in emptiness still is going through really emotion, but you can really go more further, more deeper through your own. So, that kind of a meditation, able to go really deep, not only once a time, it's kind of like continuity, once you're able to see that, once you're able to do that. So that is one of the perfect sign, we might say that, one of the perfect sign that, or perfect logic in terms of you, also logic. A logic that you apply for your own self, that logic that's not to improve for the society, to prove for the society. Logic that able to give you a confidence. So, over here in the logic in terms is more internal. Then, of course, some from the externally, they can also people can people who are karmically connected and so on and so forth. Then they might experience much more deeper to take this all sign. Sometimes also, I think this is also important. Like His Holiness, this, when he used the words, when he expressed the Buddha Shakyamuni, there's immediately his voice changing, and there's some teachers, when they express their teacher's kindness, there's like immediately, this is they go this practice of a Guru Yoga go really deep instantly, able to take really deep, and that kind of when once the individual not only once a time, once a time we can also do that, but like continuity of that, this goes really deep, and you can really feel that. Once you feel that kind of energy, it's kind of like a sign, one of the signs. Like when we go to see like a great yogis and great teachers, you can feel something, not only one time, when you go several times. Early time in Sarah, His Holiness came to give Madhyamika teaching. So, I will stay to receiving class. He comes, when he go out, he will hit me here. When he go back, he will hit here. And I like, each time I'll like really like spaced out. Yeah, that's, so, then I was spoiled also a little bit. At the end, not that much excited in my mind, but is a spoiled sign of spoiled. That sign is like devotion. It wasn't all stable. So I thought that was not a good sign. I should have that experience, so continue as until the end. So anyway. Basically, it's something that, basically, it's irreversible and so on and so forth. Whatever is talking is something that able to go meditation very deep in wisdom and method through that. Okay. 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 Okay, this again. This meditation, Sishinyamniki Joa, this meditation is generally done in a path of, 8th bhumi, 9th bhumi, and 10th bhumi. They're usually called three purity, takpasasum, three pure ground. Basically, what happens in after 7th bhumi, meditation in emptiness, due to power of the meditation in emptiness, the innate level of grasping and truly existing, or manifesting, grasping and truly existing. When it's a manifesting and so on and so forth, that means like kind of like there's a still, due to imprint of those knowledge obstacles, those bodhisattvas have in 7th bhumi they can able to feel a certain degree of grasping truly existing in the innate level. But once they get in the 8th bhumi, even that is free. That's kind of only the imprint. There's nothing imprint can effect for the consciousness. Just imprint there. There's nothing can. Of course, there's no grasping. It is gone already. But the manifesting is kind of like from the innate, some kind of more in the experiencing level, not in the grasping level. Yeah, experiencing level is also cleaner in the 8th bhumi, 9th bhumi, 10th bhumi. So, particularly this meditation, bodhisattvas, they were done in tapasasum, in 8th, 9th, 10th bhumi, and this particularly in this, this is particularly, I say, concentrating wisdom merit, to be able to accumulate the wisdom merit, to obtain enlightenment to merit. This is the wisdom merit. So definition you can look in the book. Basically, direct realization in the emptiness of nirvana and cyclic existing. Due to that kind of direct realization, cutting entire manifesting experience of a grasping truly existing in innate level. That is kind of like a roughly translation of the definition. Okay, let's turn that. Then this one, Shintajowa. Again, this is the within the early one. Equality meditation is the wisdom merit accumulation part, and this is the virtue merit, virtue merit, virtue merit. Now we become in church. Virtue merit. The basically, definition, we can go like a Shankando Sangiwe, Sangi Shingi, Gu Gezan Yuba Yonsuzobe, Taksen Nenjo. Just to give a little bit of explanation, when we do refuge, when we take a refuge, I say, Buddha Shakyamuni, of course, but we take a refuge, of course, but the reality is, Devikyap, we say like, resultant refuge. You take refuge, reality in a resultant refuge. That means that in the future, that where your own future Buddha, your own future Buddha. The Buddha Shakyamuni, you can't obtain Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni is one individual person. in really the ultimate practice of a refuge is you're taking refuge in a devika, the resultant refuge. That in the future you will going to become in that state due to practicing the Dharma and supported by Sangha. So this is something that in the future you're yourself going to being in that kind of not only from the ultimate result point of view, but from the environment point of view. There will be something that in the future where you're going to enlighten. In a particularly like in a Tantriyana, there's a why so much recommended of a meditation of a mandala, celestial palace. It's kind of like in a pure from the from the Sutrayana point of view, it's like a accumulating merit to building the environment that in the future that where you're going to be enlightened, pure, the karmically related, positive karmically related. So basically, simple way in this training, basically virtue merit accumulating, and particularly trying to ripening the karma of producing the environment that where you're going to become enlightened. In this Shinta Jowa, in this period of time, and the practice is mostly concentrating to ripening that karma to where you're going to be enlightened. So basically in the method accumulation. Then a division division is like an environment and the sentient being way nugi shinda jowa and jugi shinda jowa. Nu ju as a sentient being, nu as the environment. So basically the karmic the meditation is more trying to strong ripening the karma of the environment and karmically connected with the sentient being. Okay. So object of training, of course, object or purpose or whatever we say is to able to benefit for sentient being. Even individual person have a whole those realization. It doesn't matter. Still, the motivation part, the compassion methods of practice is still same. Object of training. Way of training. Sometimes I feel, here Rinpoche's picture, Rinpoche's, guidance, all the Dharma students, and of course all the individual from this step to that. Maybe people might bring their house problem related with the cockroach, everything supposed to. Where should I go? Should I go or should I stay? So like, but however, in a grossest level, from that to subtle level to guidance towards the enlightenment, all the overcoming from all the obstacles, all the internal demons and external demons, all the how to overcome, all this kind of. So basically, bodhisattvas in this period of time for individual person, not only guidance, just enlightened. Not only that, like from that to, from zero to the entire, from the from personal level to whole spiritual level, entire kind of like guiding through the skillful means way. And then also, one thing is skillful Jova, that kind of training is basically, guidance, the sentient beings, the motivation. There's lots of, direct or indirect or way of training for the sentient beings. At the beginning the motivation was correct and pure, but may unable to carry the motivation when the action was happening. So there's this kind of skillful means, able to guiding, all the actions in the virtuous level. Then the ultimate skillful mean is individual disciples and practitioners to guiding to liberation, three door of liberation, which that means like understanding of emptiness of any phenomena, and also cause of that, basically present and past and future. The problem for us, we are not able to stay in the present, all the time, like worry and worry and worry and worry and worry. Although if we didn't get that, we're trying to dig our past and trying to, what things that we can look. So the meditation in a emptiness of a present, which is as a self, meditation that, and also the cause of yourself, and whatever future from your present situation, your movement, your karma, present karma, what can bring in the future, all those kind of functions, able to want to, the skillful means, trying to guidance. Sometimes we might go like, meditation emptiness, self-emptiness. We might go so strong on that, but not able to guide in trying to give the whole picture in the past and present and the future. So one skillful means, trying to guide in the wisdom from the all angle. So basically, the division, there's like a 10 different type of training in a skillful means, tapgejo. And it have also including of a wisdom practice, it also includes a method practice, it also includes just personal to until to enlightenment, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we barely finished. So, some topics, even in a monastery, we don't go to details, in like the irreversible sign, shirmidobe, that those kind of some topics we stay longer. In some topic we go a little bit general touch. So we have still left. Oh. Oh yeah. I thought we finished. I think we left, but today's time is getting too late. It's okay. We'll try to. This is what after coming is. I think is not that much very important part of the subject, but later I'll try to cover it. Basically now we are getting quite close to finishing the 70 topic. So therefore, as a part of the program, there's a requirement of a examination. So I was thinking how to do this. Okay. And should I make some question to you to answer and so on and so forth? And I thought like maybe I should ask for you people to bring some question. What you think is important to study, what you think is important to study, which one you feel. So I was thinking back and forth. Maybe that will be one suggestion. And one another thing suggestion is, okay, if like should we sit down and write and going through that. Or you pick up that topic, whatever you you feel is important to study. So maybe you can give like presentation on that, like maybe 7 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Then you're done. That is one another option. Like at the end, maybe we can instead of going writing and going, just you prepare for 7 to 8, 10 minutes. Not more than 10 minutes, because there's several people, not more than 10 minutes. So prepare some and just give some presentation here. It will be good. This, maybe somewhere you can talk with the people, what they prepare later. And then if you want to write, and more, don't want to stand up and talk, then also we can, this is also an option for you people. Okay, thank you. Inchu Sanju Rinpoche Nage Panam Gengyurji Keba Nyaba Mebaya Gone Gondu Bewarjo Beba So